Welcome to another edition of Along the Rock, brought to you by the Radar Free Press. I'm your host, Nathan Stahr, and in the studio today with us is the City Administrator for Rock Falls, Robbin Blackert.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us today.
Yes.
So I just kind of thought that today we'll just say whatever you want to talk about.
Right. So what I really thought about this of what I'd like to talk about. And as city administrator, I think, the number one complaint we always get at the city are the roads. However, we have been doing a lot of road work and we have a good plan moving forward. So hopefully that'll be alleviated some. But the second thing I hear about the most is really property taxes. And I always like to think of it as a civics lesson, things that we think that we should have learned in school, but they don't teach you the practical things. And so I thought, let's talk about property taxes today. And I'm going to kind of break this down into a couple different categories. First, we're going to talk about just specific if you live within the city limits of the city of Rock Falls. So if you look at your tax bill, and if anybody doesn't have their tax bill handy, you can get on Whiteside County GIS website, find your property, and pull up your property tax bill as well as a lot of the history that goes with the property. So if you live in the city of Rock Falls, you're going to have, on your tax bill, you're getting, the governing bodies are Rock Falls High School, Rock Falls Elementary, District 13, the City of Rock Falls, Whiteside County, Coloma Park District, Sauk Valley Community College, Coloma Township, the Special Service Area, number 1, Rock Falls Library, and Coloma Township Road. So those are all the different line items on a property owner's tax bill here in the city of Rock Falls. And on your tax bill, it actually breaks them down. And you can see a pie chart on your tax bill showing the percentage that you pay for each one. So, of course, the high school is the highest. The elementary is the second highest. And then the city of Rock Falls is third. And about 20% of what you pay on your tax bill in the city of Rock Falls if you live in Rock Falls, goes to the actual city. The rest of it goes to all those different governing bodies. Right. So what I hear a lot is that I pay a lot in taxes and I think my road should be better. So I wanted to break down what is included in that line item that just says the city of Rock Falls. So we have a lot of different things that are figured into those. None of them are roads. There is about $60,000 a year that is collected in property taxes, but that is done through the township, which is by state statute. The rest of our road money is generated through sales tax. Okay. So, and motor fuel tax, which is per capita. It's only based on, we could have 100 truck stops in Rock Falls and we would get the exact same amount of motor fuel tax. That is all based on population. So what's included on our property taxes, and it is driven by, the reason the taxes are higher in Sterling and Rock Falls is because we have bigger police departments and we have full-time professional firefighters. Right. The other towns around us, have volunteers. So those are not pension. The pensions are set up for fire and police by the state of Illinois. This is not something that we dreamed up. They govern them. Back in 2011, they're the ones that the state legislature went to Tier 2. And so the highest majority of your property tax bill on just the city of Rock Falls line item is the police and fire pensions. Right now, this past year, we levied $1.9 million. $1.2 million of that were just the fire and police pensions. Oh, wow. So it is an overwhelming majority of it that goes to that. And I never say that in a disparaging way to our firemen or policemen. They did not create this problem. The state of Illinois created this problem, as with many other issues. So, but I'll just go through all the things that we do, having said that about the pensions. So we have what's called corporate on there, and all of these percentages, all the things that we bill, we just don't make up. They're all in a handbook put out by the state of Illinois. And, you can go to the municipal section and follow through it, and we do everything according to how it's set up by the State Department of Revenue. So we just didn't make all this up. And then we do tax for IMRF pensions as well. IMRF pensions are probably one of the best funded, most well-run pensions anywhere. And we pay very little toward those pensions. So where we're paying about $1.2 million in pensions to the fire and police, we're paying around $60,000 a year for IMRF, which are all of our other employees in the city, all of them. Then we do have fire and police protection. So that's different than the pensions. That's basically just goes towards the operations of having a full-time fire department and a full-time police department. And then, of course, we have the pensions. A couple of the other things that people might not be aware of is, as a municipality, you have to have an audit every year. City of Rock Falls is like a large corporation where we have all of our utilities, including electric. And so our audit is pretty extensive, and we do audit, or we do levy about $40,000 for that levy every year. So the general fund portion of the levy is covered by property taxes. Then we've got the last three things, which are tort, Social Security, and workers' comp. So what we do are these are all things that the general fund has to pay for the employees, and we levy that cost to offset the burden to the general fund. These are not unusual things for municipalities to do. Our insurance premium every year for our liability, for our tort liability and workers' comp, with all that is around $600,000 a year. That's a lot of money on an insurance premium. So this helps us cover the cost, but we only do a portion of that, and that's just the general fund. So the electric part of, covering the liability on their assets and all that is actually divvied out. That part of the premium is divvied out and charged to the electric department. So when they do their rate studies, saying how much electricity should cost here, those costs are figured into the rate studies. So these are, when we're billing on the tax levy, it's just for the general fund. Just for the general fund. So I think it's a very complicated issue, and it can be tricky. I actually, when I calculated the tax levy last fall that was passed and that we're operating on right now, I actually thought that people's taxes just on the City of Rock Falls line item may go down. However, what I didn't calculate into that was the fact that it was time for the quadrennial assessment. So every 4 years, and this is all state statute, every 4 years there's a readjustment of your assessed valuation on your property. Because that went up so much, the taxes on the line item on the Rock Falls line item did not go down. It did not go up very much, not nearly as the other ones, but the last several years since the pensions have leveled out, we have not had to go up to that 5% increase every year. We actually were even able to decrease it 2 years ago, and then this past year it was 3.33%. So what happens when you get up to that 5% and over? You have to have what's called a truth in taxation hearing. So the 5% means that you've raised it 5% over the previous year, what you levied from the previous year. We haven't had to do a truth and taxation hearing in several years. We had to do them back-to-back years when the new way that the police and fire pensions were being calculated. But since then, we've leveled off and we're able to keep it either at that 5%, 4.99 or lower.
Well, that's good.
So, but I think there's a lot of misconceptions about the tax levy and how they're calculated. I don't know how Sterling does theirs. I don't know how Morrison does theirs. We just figure on what we have here in this city because, we're structured a lot like Sterling. We're not structured anything like little towns. They're policemen in when you go to some of the smaller towns around us, they're not under police pension. They're under IMRF. So you have to have so many officers to end up being in the police pension. Yeah. So there is a difference between the small town taxes in Whiteside County and Sterling and Rock Falls, but that is the main difference. Schools are always going to be the highest ones that you're paying taxes for, regardless of where you are in Illinois. Where there are other states that you don't pay any property taxes based on schools.
Yeah.
So it is a complicated subject, so I'm hoping if people have questions, they'll let us know.
Yes. Yeah, well, most people just look at that number and they say, oh, this is a lot higher than it was last time. And I think this is very interesting to kind of get an understanding of what, how that number is calculated and the different factors that are in there. But yes, if you're watching and if you do have any questions or prefer any clarification on anything that's talked about, please let us know. Make comments wherever you're watching this video, whether you're seeing it on which other form of social media or on even on YouTube. And next time we have Robbin on, we'll kind of go sift through those and see if we can answer some of those questions you might have.
I think that would be great because it is a complicated subject and it is different from town to town and county to county. And I would love to address specific issues with people, let them know how to appeal their property taxes. There's a whole process that every county has to appeal property taxes. So we don't have anything to do with how people's properties are valued. That's the tax assessor. Yeah. We just deal with the math on the other side of those numbers. So we'll see. Our town's doing well financially. So I don't see any big problems coming. I do know the pensions are going up again this year by a little over $100,000. So that number is going to grow this year. But I'm hoping our assessed valuation grows as well here for Rock Falls. Last year, our assessed valuation was $97 million, and I'm hoping we get up over that $100 million. As we have new businesses come in, new things being built or remodeled or whatever, it increases that assessed valuation, which makes for a healthier finance in the long run for the city. So,
well, it's interesting. So, Robbin, thank you again for joining us today. We would also like to thank our production crew and also our viewers. Remember that the Radar Free Press is free, so we rely on your comments, likes, and shares to keep us thriving. And to watch more videos like this, tune into theradar.online.